happy Monday and welcome back to Page 3 Hot Topics. This is the show where we talk about the juiciest and hottest topics of the week. It's a Halloween special. Happy Halloween. If you're watching from America, I know it's very big over there. If you're UK based, are you doing anything with your Halloween? Are you going out with your kids this evening if you have them? Do you think trick-or-treating is wrong? Are you annoyed when people ring on your doorbell, or are you excited and you go out to the shop and get a load of chocolate and sweets and you think it's quite sweet? Let us know. Trick-or-treating is apparently dividing people. So yeah, we'll be talking about all of that. We saw some celebrities, Megan Fox and Jessie Nelson, who used to be in Little Mix, dressing up as Pamela Anderson and Tommy. That's received backlash because of how that relationship ended. And of course, we'll be talking about Jeremy Clarkson. So welcome aboard to the whole Hot Topics panel, who are all here. And a happy belated birthday to Chloe. We hope you had a lovely weekend. Okay then, girls. Well, it's Halloween, of course, and I've seen some fantastic outfits that you ladies all wore over the weekend. Hopefully we'll see more of that later on your Instagrams, where you can find the girls on their Instagrams over on our Daily Star Instagram to see what they've been doing. But we did see an outfit which did divide people, and that was Pam and Tommy. Now, the reason why it did divide people was the fact that, you know, it ended on quite sour terms, this relationship, with legal issues and all sorts, you know, claims of abusive behaviour, etc. Now, Megan Fox dressed up as Pam. She does look amazing. And so did Jessie Nelson. Barbie, do you think people are again just taking this a step too far? It's just a costume, or do you think perhaps they've got a point that they're celebrating a relationship which seemed to be a little bit toxic?
No, I think they're allowed to dress up because they're dressing up as iconic people. It is Halloween, everybody does it, and anyone that's in the public eye just seems to get backlash for it. And I just think any other normal person doesn't get it, so why does people in the public eye have to get it?
Yeah, exactly. Would you agree, Daisy, on that note?
Yeah, I do agree, actually. I think, you know, Pam's amazing for so many things. We shouldn't just focus on the negatives and therefore say we can't dress up as her for Halloween. Both the girls looks amazing, and she's a fabulous woman to want to be.
Yeah, exactly. She is an icon, and she still is an icon. That's why so many people dress as her, right? And I think they're celebrating her beauty more than anything. Chloe, do you see a different side to this? Do you think maybe we can choose so many other different women to dress up as? Perhaps if we just chose, you know, Pammy when she was in her Baywatch days instead of the relationship. What do you think?
Pretty cool, but I think Halloween's turned more like what celebrity you dress up as, and I think it should be a bit more scary. I don't know. She's not scary. She's just beautiful. It's just turned different Halloween, but yeah, they look pretty cool. Like, I've got nothing against it.
No, they do look cool. Now, some other Halloween costumes have also come into question. You can apparently buy a Jeffrey Dahmer outfit online, which is a bit bizarre, as seeing as he's a serial cannibalist murderer. That's a bit dark, I think, personally. Barbie, what do you think? Or do you just see it as in a bit of jest?
Yeah, I do think that's a bit strange, to be honest. I did see a child going viral for dressing up as him, and I thought, that's not right. So yeah.
Yeah, and a child as well. That is odd.
Yeah, too far.
They're making him look like an icon when this is a real story. Like, this is real life. This actually happened. People are like dressing up as him, looking up to him. This is no one to look up to. It's a real story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you've got to think of the victims' families who are still alive as well to this day, who I could not think of anything worse if they were walking down the road on Halloween and saw someone dressing up as them. Daisy, do you have any other thoughts on the Jeffrey Dahmer costume?
Like I said, with the Pam, there's lots of things. She's iconic. She's amazing. We can look at her good stuff. As for dressing up as murderers, probably is taking it a little bit too far.
Yeah, agreed. Are there any other costumes, girls, that you've said? You knew Barbie, you said you saw a child dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer. Is there any other costumes that you've seen which you think would be a step too far?
No, I don't think. I think everyone's dressing up as like icons this year. Like Chloe said, it has definitely changed from being like scary Halloween to like dressing up as celebrities. I do think it's quite cool.
Like everyone looks so beautiful on Halloween. Like they're meant to look scary, but they just look beautiful.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, you make a very good point. I remember when Halloween you were dressing up. Well, that's a good picture right there, dressing up. And
I remember when you used to find stuff at home, put your plastic bag on, be a ghost, put some holes in it. It's just like crazy, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I always used to go as a witch.
Yeah, same.
And people used to have a go at me like, oh, a witch isn't that scary. Well, now you dress up as Pamela Anderson. So actually a witch is quite scary in comparison to Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
It's just an excuse to get dressed up though, isn't it? We don't get dressed up day to day. So it's an excuse to wear a costume that you've wanted to wear.
So Daisy, talk me through your costume then this week.
Oh, my costume. I was a fembot from Austin Powers.
It's amazing.
It wasn't scary, but I wore a massive wig and it was fabulous. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And how much did your costume cost, Daisy, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't mind. It was £85.
Wowee, that's quite a lot for Halloween.
You know what? Well, the expensive part was the wig.
Oh. Yes, the wigs are the most expensive bit. The wigs are the most expensive bit.
I'm not going to wear the wig again. And it was really itchy. But it was fun. I enjoyed it again.
You needed it for the pictures, like that's about it.
Yeah, it was a good fun costume to wear.
It was a good one. Barbie, would you ever, say no to wearing a certain costume? Is there a costume that you just think, absolutely not, I would not be seen dead in this?
Yeah, probably. If somebody asked me to dress up as Jeffrey Dahmer, I'd be like, absolutely not. I do think it goes to a certain extent. Like everything looks nice and glamorous, but there's definitely some things that shouldn't be worn or seen.
And you made a really good point about the child dressing as Jeffrey Dahmer. I think anybody at any age dressing as him needs to have a serious word for themselves. But obviously it's a free world, etc., before we go into that debate. But do you think that some of these costumes should have sort of like an age restriction on them? I.e., some costumes are quite revealing, aren't they? We've all dressed up at Halloween, sort of like a sexy witch or a sexy cat, But do you think some costumes, Halloween is really supposed to be for children, isn't there? So do you think maybe an age restriction on costumes, Daisy?
Well, I'm thinking this child that dressing up as a murderer, that surely their parents went out and bought them that costume. I was like, this is a great idea. When in hindsight, it's not. So I think the parents got to say something, maybe we can offend people here, or I don't think that's the best idea.
No. Chloe, you seem to be in agreement with this one. Any final thoughts on the Jeffrey Dahmer costume?
I think they probably just did it for like loads of people views online. Do you know what I mean? They might have just wanted so many views because they know they're going to be spoken about. One of them ones again.
Yeah, completely. And Barbie, any final thoughts on this one?
I think the age restriction won't work because like that costume with the child on was just like a plain white t-shirt with the glasses, and like they bought things that made the child look like him. So it's not actually buying a costume. It's like just going out and getting whatever you can for the child to look like him. So I don't even think the age restriction will work because they'll just go out and find something anyway.
Yeah. So do you really think that it's a parenting thing?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay then, girls. Well, thank you. That was the Pam and Tommy topic done. They've got a really good Netflix series on this, actually, by the way. If you are a fan of Pamela Anderson and you're intrigued by
I've seen it, yeah.
It is good. It is good watching. Obviously, it is a dramatization, not a documentary, so just something to bear in mind. But it is a very good series. If you did want a Netflix recommendation, I strongly suggest that one. But we're going to move on now. We're talking about Halloween a little bit later on in the show, as it is Halloween today. But we're going to talk about Prince Harry's memoir now. Now he's lots of talks about this has been in the works for quite a while. Obviously, it's been a very sad year for the royal family, with the late Queen dying, and now we've got, a new king, her son, Prince Charles, or should I say King Charles, more so. The book itself, I think, I can suspect did get pushed back a little bit, but it's going to be coming out in the new year, not in time for Christmas gifts, but for the new year. Now, Prince Harry apparently has been paid millions of pounds for this, and he does go into detail everything from his childhood, from his mother dying up until present day, which would include leaving and stepping down as a senior royal family member to be across the states and take a little bit of a backseat in terms of the responsibilities that he would have if he was a senior working member of the royal family. But there they are. There's Meghan and Harry. But this is specifically Harry's memoir, in his words, but it has been ghost written. So, girls, this has divided people already. It's not even come out. Some people are saying, look, we don't want to hear from you anymore. We get it. You've done the Oprah interview. You've done various comments. You've done various interviews. But some people are saying, no, he deserves to have his time. He's had lots of books written about him, and he deserves to have his voice and his opinions heard. Some people are saying, that it's too soon, close to the Queen's death, and all sorts. As usual, it's divided people. So I really want to know what you think about this. Do you think it's time that Harry, just respected the fact that his now dad is king, and he's got a new reign to think about, and his grandmother has died, etc.? Or do you think, no, good for you, Harry, it's time that you had your voice heard? Chloe, first off.
If he put his honest thoughts down in the book, then I think it'd be great to know that what he was actually thinking, why, when he stepped down and stuff like that. I think he does need this, and I think maybe it might change people's minds about him. Like, he might have an explanation, and to get to really know him, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think we'll see a completely different side to Harry that we haven't seen. We hear little bits and bobs about what he thinks about things, and we can infer from it and read between the lines. But this will be everything approved by him, word for word, painstakingly, because he knows, what's going to be at risk here by doing so. Barbie, what do you think about this?
I think whether he brought the book out now or in a year's time, he's still going to get the good and bad opinions. So why not just do it? He's got the opportunity to bring a book out, and I think it'll go really well, and it'll make him be seen in a different light. Maybe people that didn't like him will like him with his true, honest words.
Yeah, that's true. They will be honest, and there can't be any sort of escaping the fact that, I don't know, a royal commentator thinks something, or a royal biographer. No, this is quite literally Harry's approved every single word of this. Daisy, what do you think about this?
Disagree already.
No, I do agree, because I think, it's really nice to get your side of the story across, especially if everybody's writing this, that, and the other about you. But it's the money thing as well, isn't it? Even if he maybe didn't want to write this book and he's been offered millions and millions and millions to do it, it's quite a difficult offer to turn down, isn't it? You've been cut from the royal family, and, the pace that goes with that, I guess. You've still got a family to support. You've got a legacy to leave behind. You wouldn't want to turn that deal down, even if you didn't necessarily.
It is a lot of money. And as you said, the financial aspect of things, they do need to become financially independent.
Yeah, so it's a business opportunity, and he's taken it, so I'm there for it.
But then on the flip side of things, being the devil's advocate here,
is he just doing it for the money rather than doing it for the people?
He's also, he has to think about his family, and it would be like us being offered millions of pounds to speak about very personal issues within our families, and going, oh, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. Let's not care about what everyone else thinks within the family. And that will, of course, cause tension.
You can't choose your family, can you? He's not. I don't want to say he's wiped his hands off them, and he hasn't. But when you've got everybody in the world with an opinion about you,
Mm.
you should have the opportunity, family or not, to give your side of the story.
Yes, that's a very good point. Has anyone else got anything else to add about this? I feel like it's very, I think people are very much in the camp that he should have his own voice. But does anyone, on the other side of the flip side of the coin, think,
He said it. I don't know if he's done it for the money rather than the people, sort of thing, like a business deal. I don't know. Is he thinking of us or is he thinking of the money? I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, some of the money is going to charity. Just want to clarify. Yeah, so some of the money is going to charity, and he didn't have to do that. So that also adds another dimension to it. What do you think about that, Barbie?
Yeah, I think that just shows the type of person he is. Like, he didn't have to send any money to charity, but he is. So I just think it's definitely not about the money. I think it's the fact he wants to be heard and get his voice out there.
Yeah, and he, even now we're speaking about it and speaking about him, and he's probably sick of people talking about him. But then you release a book about him, so that's obviously going to get people talking. So it's a constant case of when and you want a private life, but then you release a book with your face. It's difficult. But that is why people are divided over this. But I'm sure when it's released in January, there'll be a few things in it which will be brought onto our Hot Topics panel to discuss. But yes, that's Harry's memoir.
I'm going to buy it.
Well, the thing is, he's missed the Christmas date, hasn't he? So, like, lots of people are now releasing books, like Rylan, etc. Edward NFL from the editor of Vogue. They're all releasing it in terms to get the Christmas books to be onto people's trees. But he missed that slot, so he'll have to get the New Year slot. So I don't know how much cash people have in the New Year to get it, but I'm sure it will still sell millions. I'm sure it will. Anyway, we're going to move on now from Prince Harry's memoir, as we'll be speaking about it at a future date, as I said. But if you do have any comments or questions about any of the topics that we discussed today, then pop them in the comment section, then we'll bring them up and forward it on to the panel to answer it. And there's also the hot seat coming up where you get to ask Barbie any questions you would like, but keep it PG. But we're going to come back to Halloween, as it is Halloween today. And a mum, I think, has spoken out and said trick-or-treating is wrong, because we reinstate the message to children that, don't speak to strangers, don't take sweets off strangers. And then what do? We turn up to a stranger's house, ring the doorbell, have a good chat, and we take some sweets off them. But some people are saying, come on, they'll be with their parents. Very evidently different to being by themselves, walking home from school, speaking to a stranger. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Daisy, kick it off, please.
Oh, people are so boring, aren't they? Let the kids dress up and go and get their bowl of sweets and enjoy it. Like where my auntie lives, it's a little village, and they go wild for it. Every year they decorate, they all knock on each other's doors. Like if I invited her to a party, she wouldn't come because she'd be like, no, the trick-or-treaters, I need to be there. It's fun. They enjoy it. They do it with their friends. They do it with their parents. It's safe. It'd be different if you've got a 4-year-old and you say, off you go, babe, go and get your sweets and then come back. But yes. I can't imagine people do that. So,
yeah, I remember on a couple of occasions, but I would have been in my, I would have been probably around 12 or 13 when I've gone to friends' houses for Halloween, and they've said, come back around the block, go around the block by yourselves and come back. And we haven't had the parental supervision. But whenever I was in my family's company, obviously I always used to go with the parents. So do you think maybe an age restriction on this for trick-or-treating by yourselves, Daisy?
Yes. I do.
What age?
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know. I'm not good with children. I don't know what age they're like responsible. 12?
Yeah.
12. What about 12 plus? 12 plus. Yeah.
Nearly a teenager.
Yeah.
Still a child, but still a child. Okay, Barbie.
In regard to is trick-or-treating wrong, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It's been a thing for years. Everybody's done it. So I don't see why children in this generation should miss out, because it's such a fun time. I think maybe there should be an age restriction, maybe like 13, because then you're an actual teenager. But I'm not sure if that'll work. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. And then there comes an age where you don't want to do trick-or-treating anymore. I think it's embarrassing. You look like the old kid turning up with all the young kids. Can I have some sweets, please? No, you're too old. Okay, fine. So in terms of is trick-or-treating wrong, we're going to go around the circle. Daisy, yes or no? Is trick-or-treating wrong?
No.
Chloe?
No.
Barbie?
No.
Okay, there we go.
She's a bit like being a bit like the Grinch at Halloween there. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't need it.
We don't need it.
I live somewhere where people couldn't knock on my door though, and that does make me happy. I wouldn't want people knocking on my door.
This is going to sound awful.
You don't leave a pumpkin out if you don't want anyone knocking, I think.
I was tempted to even put a sign on my door this evening. Don't knock, because my doorbell is not just like a subtle thing. It's like ding dong. Like, I think you've heard it on this Hot Topics panel.
Yeah.
Goes nuts about it. Goes absolutely nuts. And I was just tempted to go, to save me the ag, I've had a long day at work. I really don't want you knocking on my door. But what I might do is I might leave out like a basket of treats and say, help yourself, but just don't knock.
My friend did that last year though.
Yeah, people do that.
Stole the basket. She was really upset. Yeah.
Basket.
But yeah.
She stole the basket.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like, she put out like a nice little bowl.
Yeah.
And she was really upset. Like, she was gutted that someone stole her Halloween bowl.
I had a similar thing. I had a seal statue on the drive bit when they come up. Anyway, he only put it out on the road. I don't know why he moved it. I don't know.
Vandalism.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so my upstairs neighbours, they've got a Ring doorbell. So the thing is, if I put out some sweet treats, they'll be on camera if they nick my basket, and I'll Barbie, will you be leaving out some sweet treats tonight? Have you got a sign on your door saying "Do not knock"?
Well, we live on a private road, so we don't really get anybody other than my nephews. Sometimes.
It's like, oh my God, I wish that was me.
It's actually quite good. I think my mum still buys like sweets in and stuff for people, but we never get anyone.
Oh,
I'm going to go full out there. I'm putting a witch's hat on. I'm doing the voice. You're going to see me at the door. Proper going for it.
Oh, that's very sweet. I mean, also there is a thing in trick and treating. How many sweets do you think a kid should be able to take? Because you do get a couple of cheeky ones going for the
take handfuls and go like that, yeah.
Or just one.
Just one.
I think a handful.
So, Barbie, would you call them out if they put in 2 big handfuls? You say, excuse me.
Depending on how cute they are. Think.
It's not that they take it all and then you run out and then you don't have anything to give them, then you have to give them an orange and then they turn their nose up on you or something.
Yes, when you knock on people, I remember knocking on people's doors actually, and it was too late and they only had oranges. I wasn't very impressed. Yeah, it was. I don't want a piece of fruit. I didn't knock on your door for a piece of fruit, but fine. Anyway, that's the trick-or-treating. Do let us know how you get on with that one. I think
I used to want money. Some people used to give me like a couple of quid, and I used to be like, yeah. I used to go down to rich houses down Essex Way because I knew that they'd give me out money. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Money. What's sorry? Have I been living under a rock? Money.
Pan, you got to go to the big mansion houses, though.
I can't turn up now.
Away,
huh?
Because they're paying you to go away.
Yeah, get lost.
Yeah.
How much did they used to give you?
About 20 quid, I think, once.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes. So
Wow.
they used to try and give you sweets, and you go, no, I want cash, please.
Could you imagine someone knocking on your door, dressed up and saying, I want money?
I tell them to learn some manners and come back next year for some sweets.
I think I might put my hat back on, Pan, and start doing it again and see if I can get some cash in.
You want me to see being a witch coming to life? Ask me for money, you'll see a witch come to life. Daisy, I mean, I've never heard of the cash thing either, but Barbie, you seem to be nodding your head. Have you experienced this cash treatment?
Masses.
Yeah, I remember when we were growing up, we used to go to like an old lady's house, and she'd always give us all some money. So we just used to go there every year. And sometimes buy toys for us.
I've never heard of this. This has gone into a big debate. Okay, well, trick or treating nowadays apparently means cash. No wonder we're in a cost of living crisis. Right, we're going to move on now to Jeremy Clarkson. He's not one to hold back. Well, he's urged police to crack some skulls as cops target eco idiots. He is, of course, referring to the Just Stop Oil protests, which have been happening across various cities around the UK. We saw MI5 be hit by orange paint. I think we've seen art being vandalized. I think with soup last week, tomato soup. We've seen people glue themselves to the road. We've seen barricades, happening, and police standing up trying to get them to go. But obviously, there's only so much they can do, to be honest, without it escalating. There's a picture of some eco warriors putting themselves on the floor and refusing to move, causing chaos for quite a few commuters, but of course hitting the headlines, which is what they intended to do to get their message across. Obviously, Jeremy's comments are quite extreme, and obviously I'm sure he doesn't actually mean crack some skulls, but that is what he said. I think he basically just wants to slam down and basically say the police should be taking a tougher stance on this. Daisy, what are your thoughts on Jeremy Clarkson's stance on this, and what's your stance on this?
I quite like it. I do. Are you allowed to call people idiots? I do think they're idiots. And I think they're selfish as well. I understand that, eco-friendly. We've got to make a change, but gluing yourself to the road, hanging off the Dartford crossing. People are going to work. People are going on holiday. Kids are going to school. I think it is so selfish. It drives me mad. And, there's real crime in the world, and the police having to be there to try and drag people off the streets. It is ridiculous. I understand where he's coming from, saying do something, because surely something has to be done.
Yeah.
I got in a black taxi yesterday, and the man said he couldn't go to work for 2 days because he couldn't actually get up on the bridge because it was all blocked. So he lost 2 days of money.
Oh, that's quite a lot of money. That's not just half a day's worth of money being stuck in traffic. That's 2 days worth. Barbie, you're shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Daisy. They are idiots, and this is people's lives. Like the Dartford crossing, I know I used to get to the airport and things, so people will have missed flights that day. Like Chloe said, people have missed work. I just think it's stupid. There's other ways to go and do this. You don't need to affect other people's lives.
No. Okay. Well,
they're not thinking about the sick people coming through. They need to get ambulances through as well. It's just disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. So there was an incident with an ambulance the other day, and instead of them moving, they said we appreciate that you really need to get through, but they came up with a different route for them. But that, of course, is not going to help when you're in an emergency situation and you've got minutes ticking down when it's a life or death. 30 seconds for rerouting, turning around, and being given a map of a different route is not what they need. They just need to get through. But of course, their argument would be, well, we've tried to write to the government, we've tried to do, you know, all these different things, and no one's listening to us. So what is the solution then? Anyone got any thoughts on what a solution would be instead of all this?
To try and actually work with them, call them in, maybe discuss it, really get into it, like do plans so they stop doing this.
Now, that's a very good point. If the government did call them into an actual meeting and say, everyone,
Face to face, yes.
No, I don't think you should do that, because then it's saying to them, oh, okay, do you know what? You've messed up everyone's schedules, you've caused havoc, we give in. Then it's kind of like rewarding the bad, isn't it?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone thinks, well, you know, they did that and then we got what we wanted.
It sets a precedent. Yeah, it sets a precedent.
Only way to stop it, though, isn't it? Like, I just feel like they're never going to give up, ever.
No.
Barbie.
Go on, sorry.
No, Daisy, so there you go.
No, just people should do what they want for them. Like, if you want to be eco-rights, encourage that in your house, encourage that for your family. Stop portraying it to the rest of the world without giving us a choice of driving to work or holiday or whatever. Like, just do it in your environment and spread the good news like that.
Yeah.
And Barbie, would you add anything to that?
To be honest, I'd just agree with Daisy. Like, if you're going to let them win, they're just going to do it with every single problem in the world. They'll just do these silly protests. So to be honest, I just think just let them do it in their bubble and keep the public out of it.
Jay said, electric vehicles are just a means to strip low-income citizens of private car ownership. Only wealthy private homeowners will be able to own one. So there are various government schemes at the moment for electric vehicles which are going around, and it depends where you are. Some companies are endorsing it, you know, some schools are endorsing it, etc. But at some point, I imagine the electric vehicles will be all that we have. But of course, all these things cost a lot of money. An electric vehicle is actually quite expensive. But yeah, that's an interesting point, Jay. Thanks for commenting. I think we've got a video of what they've been up to. So if we can bring that up and sort of see what they've been doing. Yeah, I mean, Barbie, you're shaking your head.
All I can say is I hope he got arrested for that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he did or not. We don't have a follow-up on that. But lots of people have been arrested. Yeah, lots of people have been arrested. Chloe?
Too far, just crazy. They just gone nuts, haven't they? I see them do something to the Rolex shop as well. Cool, that's sad. Yeah,
the Rolex shop, but they're going for these buildings which are iconic buildings and people and buildings which represent wealth, and that's the buildings that they are going for, which wealth, obviously power, money. Daisy, your thoughts on that action?
What does it achieve? Like, what does that person go home that night and go, oh, I've had a great day today, spray painted a building orange? Like, why? Like, achieves nothing. I don't get it.
But we're speaking about it. Yeah, we're speaking about it. But yeah, that again, that is showing both sides of the argument, isn't it? They're getting the coverage they deserve, but maybe it's not the coverage that they particularly wanted, because it's not looking that great for a lot of them. There's been lots of complaints about it, but they are definitely being spoken about. So if that's what they wanted, then they've got it. Whether the government will listen will be interesting, but these have been coming more regularly, all these different scenarios. So yes, it'll be interesting to see if they do anything, especially seeing as we've got a new PM now. Anyway, that is the topics for this week, but we're going to come on to the part of the show now where you get to ask Barbie any questions in the hot seat. So if you're new to Hot Topics, this is the part of the show where you get to ask Barbie any questions you would like. No question is off limits, obviously apart from inappropriate ones, which we just won't bring up onto the screen. Chloe is, a very, very keen panelist, and she always comes with questions. So we're going to kick off with Chloe, but again, if you have questions, then do let us know in the comments. Chloe, kick it off.
Let me get a saucy one first. Hang on, right. Date someone really posh or really common?
I don't think it really matters to me. Like, do you mean like accent wise or like?
One, yeah, accent wise, they're gonna talk like me, or they're gonna talk like someone just really posh.
Either, it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, you got to pick, Barbie.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, I'm going to put my foot down over this one.
Me and Pandora hate it when you got to pick one.
Someone, yeah.
Down to earth.
Yeah.
Down to earth.
Okay. I'm shocked, baby girl, with all your bags and that. Like it, saucy. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Daisy, your turn.
What's the worst chat up line you've ever received, whether it be in your DMs or out and about? Worst line?
There's that many, to be honest. I'm not even sure. I can't even think of one off the top of my head. There's just too many. It's just like the most cheesiest things or the most rudest things. Like, want to link up, I just think's rude. Like, they don't even say your name. They don't ask how you are.
Well, they just say, want to link up.
Yeah, things like I get that all the time. No, hi, no follow.
Yeah. Like you'd ever get a response from that. I got a text from a previous flame a month or so ago, and it wasn't, hey, how you doing? Hope you're well. It was just WYS.
Oh, yeah, that's the
what
worst.
What are you saying?
I hate it. Oh.
Honestly, I was shocked. I honestly, my jaw dropped. WYS?
So
Who are you talking to?
And Pandora was like Googling it up, like,
what does WYS mean?
What does this mean?
Anyway, Chloe, your turn.
All right, sweetheart. Live in India or China?
I'd say China because I like Chinese food.
Oh yes, that's
yeah, same. Yeah, cool.
Daisy.
If you got the opportunity to go into space, would you go?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you?
Ooh. What if you had to pay, like a 10 grand ticket? Would you go?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
What's the max you would pay for a ticket for space?
Probably like 25k.
Oof.
Lifetime opportunity. Like, not everyone can say that they've been to space. So.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Chloe, question from you, please.
Spend a day with Keith Lemon or Danny Dyer?
Probably Keith Lemon because he'll make me laugh.
Yeah. I agree on that front. But Danny,
how much is your most expensive handbag?
Like 1,500. So I don't think it's too bad. Or is that bad?
That is crazy. That's someone's wages for a month.
Chloe, you kill me.
What colour is it?
Yeah.
It's a Louis Vuitton one. So it's like that.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Now,
lovely.
Barbie, you're off somewhere soon. We're going to bring up the question. If you don't want to answer it, then that's absolutely fine. Let's bring up the question. It's your mum.
Apollo's mum.
Where are you jetting off to in the next hour and why?
I'm going to Paris to celebrate my birthday with my mum. So.
Wow, that's where I wanted to go.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Have you got any plans for when you're there? Anything booked?
Yeah, we've got a few restaurants booked, and I'm going to make sure I go to the Eiffel Tower at night to see it sparkle and get some nice.
Oh my God, that is my dream come true. I'm so jealous.
You should walk around the gardens by the Eiffel Tower, and you can look up online when it starts to sparkle and it goes from pitch black to sparkly, and you can take sort of champagne there. So I did. It's very, very special.
You'll have to send the recommendations over.
Yeah, I will. Anyway, Barbie is jetting off to Paris, so we will have to let her be. Have a fabulous time, Barbie.
Thank you.
All them French boys, you're so lucky.
But both birthday girls, Chloe, happy belated birthday again. And we will be back next week. We can't wait till all of your Halloween sagas this evening. Do let us know. We will pop the countdown story of when we go live on the day on our Daily Star Instagram. So do give us a follow so you can see when we're next on. And you can give the girls all a follow on there. We've got all of their tags up there live at the moment, so you can see what they're up to. And then we will be back next week. You can catch all of the hot topics over on our playlist on Facebook, over on our Twitter and our Instagram at Daily Star. You see what the girls are up to, as I said, on there too. So girls, thank you for coming on. And we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.